Hello everyone, welcome to mytutor.ng. In this video, I'll be teaching on the topic chemical equation. So what is chemical equation? A chemical equation is the representation of a chemical reaction by using the chemical symbol or formula of the elements or compound that are involved in the chemical reaction. So if we want to represent a chemical reaction that is occurring in a test tube or in a beaker, then we will make use of the chemical symbols of the elements or compound that are involved in the reaction to represent the chemical reaction. So by definition, a chemical equation is the representation of a chemical reaction by using the chemical symbol or formula of the compounds that are involved in the reaction. So to represent a chemical reaction, we make use of a chemical equation. And a chemical equation involves using the chemical symbol or formula of the compounds that are involved in the reaction to represent the chemical reaction. So what is a chemical reaction? A chemical reaction is a reaction in which two or more elements or compounds are combined together to form a new compound. So in a chemical reaction, two or more elements or two or more substances are combined together to form a new set of substances. The substances that are combined together are called the reactants. So we're saying that in a chemical reaction that we have what we call the reactants, which are the compound or the substances that are combined together. So the substances which are combined together in a chemical reaction are called the reactant, while the new substances that are formed in a chemical reaction are called the products. So the products are the new substances that are formed. So meaning that in a chemical reaction, two components are involved, the reactants and the products. The reactants are the substances that are combined together, while the products are the new substances that are formed. So in writing a chemical equation, the two components must be represented, that is, the reactants and the products. The reactants are written on the left-hand side of the equation. So in writing a chemical equation, on the left-hand side of the equation, we have our reactants, while on the right-hand side of the equation is where we have our products. So the products are written on the right-hand side of the equation, while the reactants are written on the left-hand side. And the two components are separated by an arrow. The arrow indicates the direction of the chemical reaction, that the reactants are combined together to give us the products. So let's consider a reaction in which the reactants are reactants A and reactant B. So we have two reactants, A and B. which combine together to form two sets of products, which are product C and product D. So to represent this reaction, we will make use of a chemical equation. And the chemical equation is written in this form. We have our reactants, which are reactant A, combining with reactant B. So the two reactants are combined together, and the plus sign indicates combination. The two reactants combine together to give us two products, which are product C and product D. So what we have written is called a chemical equation. On the left-hand side, we have our reactants. On the right-hand side, we have our product. And again, in a chemical reaction, the nature of the reactants and the product must be indicated. What do I mean by that? We know that matter exists in three states: the solid state, the liquid state, and the gaseous state. Our reactants may be in any of those three states, and also our product may be in any of those three states. Therefore, we must indicate the state of our reactants and products by writing the symbol below the reactants or the product. So if we say that our reactants are solid, then reactant A, which is a solid, will indicate it by writing X below the A as a subscript. The X indicates that the reactant A is a solid, and maybe also our reactant B is also a solid. So we have been able to indicate the nature of the reactant. Our products may be a liquid and a gas. So let's say that the product C is a liquid, then we indicate that our product C is a liquid with the symbol L. So the symbol L indicates that product C is a liquid, while the symbol G indicates that product D is a gas. So in a chemical equation, the nature of the reactants and the product must be indicated below the reactants and the product. And again, in a chemical equation, the equation must be balanced. The number of atoms of the elements that are involved must be equal on both sides of the equation. We will talk about that in how to balance a chemical equation. So this is the introductory aspect of chemical equation. We have been able to define what a chemical equation is, and we have seen the form of a chemical equation. Then in the next video, we will talk about how to balance a chemical equation.